Hi everybody and welcome to the 7th, that's right, 7th video in the You Ask 'em, I Answer 'em series. I should just name the playlist that. You Ask 'em, I Answer 'em. It's named Q&A video, but that's basically what it is. Oh, I like You Ask 'em, I Answer 'em better. I might be renaming the playlist. Anyway, this is the 7th one. Yes, I have been keeping count. September, October, November, December, January, February, and this is March. We officially have all the Dragon Balls at this point. Time to summon Shenron and make my wish that the retcon goes away. Unfortunately, it's beyond its power, but I've already tried, so that does matter. Anyway, I've gotten a lot of questions from everybody, and I'm really excited to actually do this video this month, so yes. Now, I do have one question that was a layover from last month, and I will be doing that one first. Otherwise, we're all set and ready to go. I got the questions here. I even have the site up because I had to do some research over the last month to answer the question that is the layover for this month. So let's get started. So the question that's held over from last month was, what type of Dare would I like to hang out with? And believe it or not, I believed that a Dare was something from Ruby. It's not. And it didn't strike me right away as to what it was, and then Cap, Capone, Aldrin here on YouTube, one of my subscribers, pointed it out to me. So, Cap, really, thank you, Cap. You really do pull my butt out of the fire from time to time. I really owe you. So, it didn't dawn on me as to what it was, and then when I started doing research on it, and after Cap explained what it was, because it was Cap's question, I was like, oh, well, now this makes a little more sense. And then it hit me when I did my research. And over here is my research. It is a site called goboiano.com. It's GOBOIANO.com. And a Dare is basically an archetype. So it's like, what type of a personality of somebody would I like to hang out with? But a Dare is the slang term or terminology used for it, at least over in Japan. So there are 14 popular types, so technically it would be more like 13 because the one's split into two types, but we'll go within that. So you have Tsundere type A, there's also Tsundere type B, Yandere, Dandare, Qdare, Dare, Heimdare, an Ojidare, a Kamidare, an Undare, a Mayadare, a Bodare, a Hindare, and a Sadodare. So those are the 14 types of Dare there are. Now, I'm going to quick go through this so that you at home know what a Dare is too. And then I can actually answer my question because I did figure it out through this. Tsundere is one of the most popular types. It switches between a harsh personality and a love-struck state. So it's really interesting. So type A is the Tsun state, where it's basically they tend to be verbally and physically abusive to their object of desire. They constantly use words like baka, which is idiot, and stuff like that. Thank you, subtitles in Japanese programming. It gives some examples of the Dares, but I'm going to have a link to this in the description so you can check it out for yourselves then too. So there is that. Type B is the Dare state, or the love-struck state. Friendly, public face, are usually generous. In short, Type A seems to be more off-putting until a love interest breaks their shell, while Type B tends to be more friendly with everyone except for their love interest due to not knowing how to express their feelings. So that was pretty much me in a nutshell. I'm kind of B, or basically a combination of the two sometimes. So, yeah, that actually could follow me. Again, give some popular examples. Yandere I actually already knew about because I was watching a Let's Play a while back of a game called Yandere Simulator, which honestly is 8 different types of stuff. A Yandere is sweet on the outside and basically batshit crazy on the inside. I mean, they could be friendly, outgoing, loving animals. Then all of a sudden, it's basically they get you alone in private and you see heads on their walls. Yeah. That's dark and twisted. A perfect example of this, which is when it finally struck me as to what the hell a Dare was, and I'm not even joking. Gassi from the Future Diary. I've actually seen some of Future Diary, and it didn't strike me as that. Though I remember the jokes on like the memes and that on Twitter, it didn't strike me, but that's what it was. Dandare is a quiet, shy, and harmless type. Qdare is emotionless, cold, and distant, and on rare occasions that they do speak, they tend to be very blunt and cynical. Dare is a cheerful, hyper, loving of the Dare archetypes. They constantly smother their love interest with affection. Heimdare is restricted only to the female characters. They want to be treated like a princess by everyone. So, yeah. An OG Dare is the male version of a Heimdare. They want to be treated like a prince, basically. Then you have Kamidare, which is they have a god complex. Undare, relatively obscure character type, basically combines the Dare, Dandare, and with a sprinkle of Yandere. Characters always say yes to their loved ones as a way to stay close to them. Yeah, it's some sadness there. Mayadare are characters who tend to begin series as antagonists. Mayadare will fall in love with the main character, but that does not mean they will switch sides and are willing to kill their love interest if they feel betrayed. That's really screwed up. A Bodare is a relatively new type, combines violent nature of the Sundare with the shyness of the Dandare. So they're usually shy around the opposite sex and lash out to hide their embarrassment. Heimdare is the icy nature of a Qdare and combines it with the arrogant attitude of a Kamidare. Heimdare characters are very cynical and sarcastic, but will show their soft side when a character breaks through their shell. And Asadodare are characters that get off on toying with characters on the emotional and physical level. If you find a love interest, they better be a masochist who can take a beating. So those are the 14 types of Dares. So to answer the question from last month, which one would I like to hang out with? The answer is very simple, and that would be none other than either a Dare or a Dandare. This would be one of those two. I'd be staying the hell away from a Yandere, that's for damn sure. And I know a few, based on the personality types, what they're saying for like a Sundare for both A and B types, as well as, the Sadodare. So, yes, I would be more sticking to the Dare or Dandare as what type I would like to hang out with. But that's just me because, what do I really know? Basically, right? I mean, but that's the type I would probably like to hang out with. I couldn't tell you character-wise, though, to save my life, so there's that. Alright, so on to the questions for the month now, because that was the held over question from last month, so now on to the actual questions. Yay! Question time! I love questions. Alright, what are my thoughts on Venom 2018? I didn't see it. While I understand Venom, because I've seen the Amazing Spider-Man, the cartoon show from the 90s, I know of Venom, since I do know about Spider-Man's, I want to say collectiveness in the Marvel Universe. I don't actually like Venom. It's a character that, yes, if Venom is, a good person or helping the side of good, it's a powerhouse nonetheless to be reckoned with. But for what it was, basically Spider-Man's equal in terms of why should I, really follow this thing, I couldn't understand it for the life of me. But that's not to say that it wasn't a bad character. Now, as far as the movie goes, I didn't see it. What little clips I saw of it, and I mean what little clips I saw of it, there weren't that many, really didn't do much for me other than just confirm the fact that I didn't see the movie. It's not a fact that I didn't want to because I had no time. It's that it didn't appeal to me. I liked Venom as a character in the third Spider-Man movie because I thought the three villains in the third Spider-Man movie were fine. You had Sandman, Venom, and the new Goblin, and the one goes to help and turns to the side of good, so that still leaves you with two villains. So that was perfectly fine, because it actually flowed with the pattern of the previous two Spider-Man movies at the time. The first one only had, the Green Goblin, and the second one had Doc Ock and Peter, coming to grips with his own losing his powers. So that was a villain in itself. Otherwise, it wasn't a bad character. So Venom isn't a bad character, but I feel like for a movie that they could have did on that, while it did fine from what I could see online, honestly, it felt like a movie that they could have, it felt like a filler movie. That's about the best that I could say of it. It felt like something that they wanted to do better, but they knew they couldn't do better, but they didn't have a choice but to try to do it better, if that makes any sense. I know, but honestly, I don't have any better way to put that. So who was the first person that I ever blocked off of YouTube before? Technically, it's the one that actually was the very first reason for why I had to block somebody. So this question was actually asked because the person had remembered the name of the person that I had blocked, and you can actually find it because the comments are still there. It was JP World on my Andrew Rand's video about the Broly movie. We were getting into a very heated discussion / argument at that point about it, and I honestly just got tired of defending it and defending my choices half the time. And to be fair, I tried ending that discussion several times, and you can see that in the comments section. I stood my ground on what my point was, that I believe that this is canon in my version and this is canon in the official version, because since it got retconned now, there are technically two origin stories. You have the original one that came out before the retconning, and the second one that came out because of the retconning. So I'm a fan of the original, which would technically be considered canon, because that would fall under category 2 of the definition, and the newer one would be category 1, which is what I was trying my damnedest to explain to the person. They got irate and pissed. They were quite angry and irritable about it. So I blocked them on the advice of a friend of mine just to end it. To prevent them from making any other comments on my videos, bringing the fight back up, or restarting the argument all over again, or causing future harm down the road. Now, I do apologize, by the way, if anybody knows that user. I didn't intend to do it that way. I kind of hoped we could have ended this peacefully, but things got out of hand real quick on that one, and it's one of the reasons why my Rand videos were constantly in the back of my head, like, do I really want to keep doing this? So there is that. The second person, sadly, that I've had to block on the sites, I actually looked this up. I've only blocked 2 people. 2 people. 2 users there are only 2 users that are blocked on my site, on my channel. That's it, 2. JP World was the first, and Eddie Weiss was the second. And that one came about after the one rant video, and a majority of the comments were, I'm, picking on stuff that they liked, I'm picking on this and that. Why is it that, you have to keep picking on stuff that I enjoy? Why can't you pick on something else? And they were getting annoyed at that and taking it out on me, because apparently it was my fault that I picked topics for a rant video out of the thin blue air. I didn't have any links in the rant video, but as I tried to explain, a majority of my rant videos are just random stuff. There's no links for it because it's just something that annoys me, like drivers. There's no link for me to put on the description of, well, I'm not a fan of drivers because they don't use turn signals, because they ride my backside when I'm driving. There's no link for that. The entire thing was, though, it started off because I asked who asked for the sequel to Space Jam, to which the user was irate and upset about it, and I'm hoping this video doesn't get taken down by YouTube for their copyright and community guidelines thing, but I'm just explaining my point here. I'm hoping that, this doesn't get taken down. But I wasn't picking on anything in general that anybody liked. I'm just expressing my opinion on this, and everyone's free to express their own opinion. That's why I ask at the end of all my rant videos, what are your thoughts on it? But apparently that fell on deaf ears with this one, so as much as I hated to do it, I had to block the user. I had no choice. It just got to the point where I just kept feeling like this is gonna cause an issue somewhere down the road, and I just headed it off at the pass, basically. So, to the two people that I've actually had to block on here, I do apologize that I had to block you, but I felt bad about it, but I really had no choice. It was mostly to end the ongoing string of either comments that were going nowhere and we're just spinning our wheels, or to prevent a problem that could possibly arise down the road, especially with the latter because of being assaulted and everything else. I don't mind if people want to poke fun at me, go for it. I got picked on a lot as a kid. Don't poke fun at my fans or my viewers. That I will not stand for, nor will I tolerate it. So there is that. Okay, so third question here. Back to the questions here. Okay. My thoughts on the 2019 Dumbo movie. Honestly, I don't care. That's my entire point at this point with the Dumbo movie. I don't care. We've made live-action animal movies before. Look at The Zookeeper with Kevin James. There was so many more movies. There was Operation Dumbo Drop in the 90s. As far as this one's concerned, I was never a humongous fan of Dumbo to begin with. I never liked Dumbo. I tried my best to watch it. It was a kid's movie. My mom put it on, and I just refused to watch it. I didn't like the plot of it, nor did I like the premise of it. I don't know what it was, but I could never figure it out. I'm not a fan of it in any way, shape, or form, so there is that. So I can't really give a reason as to why I don't like it. I just never liked it. It was never one of my favorite types of things. So as far as the live-action reboot goes that they're doing, or the live-action movie, let them make it. I had no dog in that fight. I didn't like the original. I wasn't a fan of it. So if they want to remake that one, more power to them. That one might actually be old enough that a fresh coat of paint might make it look good. It might make it better. I don't know. Like I said, I never liked Dumbo to begin with. So there is that. Okay. Any rants that I planned in the past, an example here would be Batman and blank, 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 but haven't got to them yet. I've actually had thoughts of a tremendous amount of rant videos. Most of the time I record them, I keep them on my flash drive, and that's all the further it gets. Either I change my mind on it, or it doesn't feel right putting it up, or I just blew off some steam. I actually have like an entire folder that I clean it out every now and then of old rant topics that either I put up already, I recorded for the hell of it, or that I just put up because, and that's where the file usually goes, and that's where a majority of it stays. I don't have any exact, beef with any of them. It's not that I don't like any of them, it's just that I don't have much to say about it. It's not very good. So if the rant video that I don't want to do sucks, then I won't put it up. But as far as any that I haven't actually recorded, yeah, there's a ton of them. It's mostly how I feel if it really pisses me off. I mean, sometimes I can calm down and cool off a little bit, and it's not that big of a deal anymore. So yeah, there's a bunch of rant videos that I plan to do, and either I didn't get to them, or I just decided to hell with it. It's not worth the effort to do it. So yes, I have had a few of those. What will I do when my channel reaches 100 subscribers? Well, the funny part is I actually saw that today. I'm up to like 92, I think it is. I'm like 8 away as of this recording. Honestly, probably nothing. Me hitting 100 subscribers would be a miracle at this point. I get like I have 92 subscribers. I'm guessing that a majority of them, enjoy the content that I put out. I have the really dedicated ones that comment on all the videos. By the way, thank you for that. I really do like that. Honestly, I guess if I ever hit 100 subscribers, if that moment actually comes, I will probably just do a special video for it and it'd probably just be something like this, thanking everybody for helping me hit 100 subscribers. That would probably be it. Now, if I'd hit 1,000,000 subscribers, I would probably do something really special. But 100 subscribers, I would just go, thanks everybody. I'm there. I hit 100. This is a really big moment. Or I do like something really cool. I wouldn't know exactly what though. I'd have to really plan that out. But either way, that's probably something I would do. But as for like fireworks or something like that, no, I don't have. That's not something to really celebrate. I mean, for me, yes, it would be, because that'd be huge. I mean, I got like over 700 feedback on eBay. I was happy when I hit the 500 mark, and I got that little, certificate thing that you could print out. I was ecstatic about that. And then they found out that you could there was a person that actually archived all of them. You could download them and print them out as you go, since eBay was stopping these. Here, enjoy this, achievement award sort of deal. I like that. But you can actually have 2 of the 4 hanging in my room to remind me every day. It's like, look, you really do make a difference, and I want to find a way to hang all 4 of them, because I have them like over here behind the camera. I want to try to find a way to hang all 4 of them back there. That's on my goal list to do. So hopefully I can do that. That'll be pretty cool. But yeah, otherwise, I hit 100 subscribers. I'm probably not gonna do, I'm probably not gonna do much. Maybe I'll do like a special rant video, or I'll do a special review video, or I'll just do a special discussion video. I don't know. I honestly don't know what I would do if I hit 100 subscribers. So there's that. I'm sorry if that's not the answer that you were hoping to hear, but that's about what I have there. I'm sorry. Okay, I answered that one because that's the one I started off with. My favorite house in a show. This one I actually had to put a lot of thought into. And I honestly don't have a definitive answer. Most of the shows I've seen, like sitcom and comedy-wise, I like some of the layouts, but I don't like the house in general. Like, I don't like the way it flows. Now, I like the Malcolm in the Middle house. I kind of like how that one's designed. But at the same time, I didn't like the flow that it had, throughout the whole ordeal. But yes, I did kind of like that house. So if I had to pick one off the top of my head right now, that one would win. But you figure I've seen so many homes, like the Griffin house from Family Guy, the Smith house from American Dad, you get the Simpsons. I've seen anime homes like from Future Card Buddy Fight, Card Fight Vanguard. There's other homes and stuff like that. I mean, outside appearances don't really do you much good if, okay, it looks nice on the outside, now let me see the inside, because if you like the house, I'd rather see what the inside looks like, where you're going to be seeing at least 90% of, unless you have a transparent home or you have a shit ton of mirrors around it. I'd like to see outside to know, see inside, see where I'm going to be seeing the majority of my time. There are some houses that I don't like. I don't like the Connor house from Roseanne and the Connors, because it doesn't feel like it flows like a normal house. It doesn't feel right as like a normal house, like it would flow right. I'm not a fan of the Tanner house from Full House, because again, it doesn't seem to flow. Or the house from Step by Step. I hate that house with a passion. The house from Growing Pains was meh, but not really fun. Mr. Belvedere wasn't really a good one either. There are just like so many of them that I had a hard time narrowing it down. But honestly, like I said, if I had to pick one that I liked as of right now, like the top of the heap that I have seen, it would pretty much be the Malcolm in the Middle house. But otherwise, it's a lot to go through. I mean, there's a lot of homes and stuff. I mean, I could go from, like the game shop where Yugi lives in the original Yu-Gi-Oh series. I could go, the home that Yuya lived in Zexal. I could pick like a dozen anime homes, like Goku's house from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I could go that home, or I could say, Light Yagami's from Death Note, or Edward Elric's from Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. There's just so many of them to choose from, and that's the issue. So, I mean, I could narrow it down, but that's honestly a question that there's way too much of a variety to choose from and way too big of a spectrum to pick just one. So, like I said, if I had to pick one right off the top of my head, I'd probably go with the Malcolm in the Middle home, because that at least feels like it flows in the right direction. It flows like a family home. But that's about the only one that I'd like out of all the shows that I can think of at the moment. Because that's the other issue with this, is that I've seen a lot of television. I mean, a lot of television. While most of my friends were studying in school and getting better grades and were more successful than I am, I was watching television. So I've seen a lot of television. A ton. I've seen cartoons. I've seen live action stuff. There's so many houses and homes to choose from that it's way too big. And I'd have to remember each and every one, because I got like the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Hey Arnold. There's also Cat Dog, Rocko's Modern Life, and I'm just going off of some Nickelodeon Cartoon Network ones. I mean, there's also some Disney stuff, just to name a few. So there's like way too many houses to choose from. But yeah, I honestly did put a lot of thought into that. I tried figuring out a good answer and going back through all the shows that I've seen, but it was way too big of a spectrum. So I might come back to that question in a future Q&A video. So the answer as of right now is the Malcolm in the Middle house, but like I said, I might come back to that question down the road after I've had a time to compile all the homes that I've ever seen and go from there. So keep that one on the back burner for now. Okay, here. Did I know about a new Netflix series called Bird Box? Yes. I've also heard of the movie Bird Box with Sandra Bullock in it. No, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen the movie, and I do not do Netflix, so I don't know anything about any Netflix program. I've complained about Netflix. I've gone blue in the face complaining about Netflix. I don't do Netflix. So, as far as I'm concerned, anything on Netflix is there. I know that Marvel's contract with Netflix is done, and they're selling off some of the props, so there is that. I know that Netflix is where some anime series are going. I know that Netflix is the network that everybody keeps begging to save this and that. That's all I know about Netflix. I don't know much of the program that they have on there. I don't watch any of the program that they have on there. And contrary to what my supervisor at work keeps telling me, I am not going to pay the subscription fee to get Netflix just to watch it. It's not worth my time as far as I'm concerned. If I want to watch any of the stuff that's on there, I would have already done it. Nothing on Netflix really thrills me. If I want to watch anime, I got 2 channels on Pluto, a whole crap ton of websites, including Crunchyroll, and I got YouTube. So there's way more I can watch there than what Netflix is going to have. So I don't do Netflix. So I really don't know much about it. But yes, I have heard about it from people on Twitter. I've been seeing like comments in that and tweets. I don't have any thoughts on it. So, sorry. Any plans for your original character, Chipman, and others? No, I have no plans. As I've stated multiple times, and many times before that, and many more times into the future, I cannot draw for beans. Okay? If I have to be, I'm going to prove this right now. So, here's a piece of paper, and I actually do have a pencil. Okay, here we go. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Pencil. Okay. Pencil. And I got paper. So I will quickly draw Chipman here, okay? This is going to prove that I honestly have no artistic talent. So I just go like this here a little bit. So right there. Okay, and I'm going to put this salt belt on here. Yeah, I'm no Bob Ross or anything, but, you know, there is that. Okay, so legs here. Got the arms here. I know you can't see this, but you will in a moment. And then the eyes, which I always never decided how I wanted to do those to begin with. But I can't draw for beans. I never could. It's kind of funny. I always kind of liked art class in school, but then again, that was mostly just because of participation. So, yeah. And there. And that was drawn in like 30 seconds. So, no, I have no plans. I have no plans for Chipman. I know that some people out there would like me to do like an animated series of Chipman. But here's the deal. I don't have the time to sit in front of my laptop or in front of a computer, nor do I have the program either, to draw, animate, and do a Chipman series. As much as I know people would like me to, I don't have the time, the ingenuity, or the program to do it. Nor do I believe my drawing skills are anywhere near good. I mean that. I cannot draw for beans. I wish I could. I could make a fortune as an artist, but I can't. I can't even draw eyes. Seriously, I can't draw hands. I can't draw feet. I can barely draw faces. I make horrible drawings. If I have to be, here, I'll go back to the paper again. Here we go. Let's do this real quick here. I'll do my standard. This is like something that I've drawn often. Okay, so let's do this a little quick here. I'll try to do this as quick as I can because I know everybody would like me to finish up this Q&A, and I'd like to finish it up too. But yeah, so I'll just like do this really quick here. It's not going to be the world's greatest, but you'll get the point. I cannot draw for beans. I really can't. I never could. You can ask anybody that I know. I never could draw for beans. As much as I would have loved to, I never could. Okay, and I know it's nothing really fancy or anything, but I'm not trying to be super fancy with it. It's just a quick drawing here. Okay. Quick erase the extra lines here, and then show everybody what I mean by the fact that I cannot draw for beans. Because I never really could draw for beans. I don't know. I never really could. I mean, if I could draw, I would probably be making like a little fortune out of it, but I can't. So there is that. But still, I mean, I can't draw for really squat, honestly. So there is that. But this is a quick drawing. Pen there. Okay, there you go. Like I said, my drawing skills are extremely shit poor. I can't draw quickly for beans, so I tend not to. So as far as my plans for Chipman, I have none. If in all honesty, if I would have had plans for him, I would have done them by now. And I got my leg here starting to fall asleep. Sorry about that. I had to move my leg starting to fall asleep. If I had plans for Chipman, I would have done something with him by now. I have no plans for Chipman. I wish I could. I mean, maybe sometime down the road, years from now, when I have a little more free time on my hands, if I ever get any free time on my hands, I would probably do something with it. If I'd ever get a program where I could do something with it. But I suck at Flash animation to begin with. As we get to take a class of that when at tech school, and I sucked at it. I did 2 of them. I did a Simpsons one where I had Homer become a alter ego type superhero called Donut Man, where he took on the cop, which was Police Chief Wiggum. And I also did one where I had Yo and Len from Shaman King duking it out in like a sort of atmosphere type thing. It was really cool. Both of which I really dropped the ball on. They're half-assed. They suck. But I was limited to the program that I had, which was Adobe. What was it? Oh, it was Adobe Flash Maker, or what was it? No, it wasn't Illustrator. That was another class. Adobe Photoshop was the other class. I think it was Flash Maker or something. But either way, I sucked at it. I couldn't make a puzzle game work right. I couldn't get a website to work right. I sucked at Flash. I think that's what it was. I think it was just Adobe Flash. Either way, I couldn't do it. I suck at Flash animation. I suck at animation. I suck at drawing. In general, I suck at drawing. I always think of drawing as something that you need to have a talent for, and if you don't have a talent for it, you suck at it. And I don't want to discourage anybody out there by saying if you can't draw, you don't bother trying. Anybody can draw something that they really try hard enough. The problem is that I got told multiple times by multiple teachers I suck at drawing. And the few that told me I was good was outweighed by the number of teachers that told me I need to stop because I suck. So there is that. And it's just something that sticks in my head because it's just one of the many demons that I have to close the door on at some point, which, hell, let's face it, that's never happening. I've about as much chance of closing the door on my demons as I do winning the lottery. So, yeah. But yeah, basically I have no plans for Chip Man. He's not going to become a video series here on YouTube, as much as I know a lot of people would like that. He's not going to become a video series on YouTube. I have nothing to do with it. I have no plans for it at all. So, yeah, sorry. Do I think it's decent, or do I think Disney, one of my rivals, is getting more lazy with these live-action remakes? Lazy is an understatement of the century. They're just flat out not even trying anymore. This is the phone-it-in method, basically. Disney decided, I guess, we want to have the licensing rights extended to keep it out of the public domain, which, if anybody's seen the Adam Ruins Everything episode, he does explain that. But basically, I kind of feel like the live-action remakes are, look, we're doing this so that we can keep the license for a while because we're saying, look, we're trying something new with it. Even if it sucks, we still have control of the license for X amount of years. Like The Lion King, Dumbo, you got Mulan's, I think they're doing a live action of her. You got Aladdin, which after that trailer that dropped last week, I'm actually shocked. Holy crap, I didn't think that trailer was going to be as interesting as it was. You have those that are all coming out, plus who knows however many more they have coming down the pipeline. I think I heard like a live action Pinocchio and a live action Little Mermaid. So yeah, there's tons of them I think coming down the pipeline. Do I think they're getting lazy? Yes. Oh, they're getting lazy on it. Because when you reboot something to make it into anything else, you change it from the original, you're rebooting it. So to me, it feels like they're saying that the movies weren't good to begin with, even though they're classics and are talked about even to this day. It feels like, to me, they're saying, well, the movie wasn't good, we didn't like it, there was something we could improve upon it, and everything can be improved. I'm not saying that that's impossible or you shouldn't try, but you shouldn't bank on it being the, well, this is how it's going to go type of ordeal for it. And that's, I think, what Disney's hoping for with all these. Like, we want to have it, we want to keep it, it's ours, we don't want to get rid of it, but we have to do something new with it, and this is what we're going to do, because the first one wasn't as good as what we'd like it to be. I think this is a way that they can also hype up the budget, they can show more stuff, and plus, the originals were probably done with, like, cell animations and hand-drawn animations, which by today's standards would be outdated and old, so they would want to make them a little more like CGI or done on computers to do it a little faster and more cost-effective, because nowadays it's cheaper than it was back then. The only issue is that, yes, I'm not going to lie, they're becoming more lazy with it. Do I think they're decent? It depends on how it's done. I'm just going to go that route at this point, because like I said, I was not on board with the Aladdin one. I'm still not. But that latest trailer that came out was leaps and bounds different than what I thought it was going to be. And it's like, this was the train wreck they were going to have, and this is the train wreck we have now. And the train wreck we have now is just a wee bit better off than the first one. The first one's a jumbled pile of steel. It's gone. The second one, you can tell it was a train. A majority of the cars are still intact, and the engine's the only thing that's damaged, and all it has is basically like the bottom is missing from it. That's about it. So, yeah, it's different than what I originally thought it was going to be, so that's scary. But do I think that they're all going to be good? No. Do I think Disney's getting lazy? God, yes. They're getting freaking lazy as hell. Do I think it's decent? No. No. Nothing's ever decent when you half-ass something and you redo something that was fine the first time. What are my thoughts on the Odd One Out's YouTube channel? If I've ever heard of that YouTube channel, or another one called Actually Happened. I have never heard of either of those channels, actually, and I did not have enough time from when this question was asked earlier this week to today. Earlier this week to today to even look it up. So, no, I have never heard of them. So I can't really give my thoughts on the Odd One Out's channel, and I've never heard of Actually Happened. So I don't know either of those channels. If I'm subscribed to them, I probably subscribed to them because they had like a clip or something that I thought was interesting, and I have never looked at it since. Because I have like a crap ton of YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to that I gotta go through one of these days and thin the herd. Honestly, if I'm subscribed to it, I probably have not watched it in months/years, so I couldn't tell you. Okay, and final question. What was my least favorite activity in school growing up? Oh, boy. That's a good one. I liked gym class, so I can at least tell you some of the ones that I liked. Elementary, middle, and high school, I liked gym class. That was one of my favorite activities to do was gym class. But if we're going like activities, I wasn't in any after school ones. So let's go through what I didn't do in high school. I didn't do drugs in high school. I didn't drink alcohol in high school like most of my class was doing. At least 75%. I didn't do the dance with no pants in high school, which about 30% of my class was doing. They all know who they are. They can't deny it. They dare you to even try. I didn't join any after-school activities. I was in chorus for 3 years out of in high school. In middle school, I was in it for both years, and I was in it since 6th grade in elementary school, because at the time, my school, 6th grade, was still elementary. Now it's middle school, so, yeah. But there's that. I wasn't in, like, any after-school clubs, like chess club or something like that. We didn't have any of that. We had, like, club days, but they were a joke when I went to school. Well, except for middle school. I did, like, because we all had to take a club, but they were set up during the day for periods, so that was kind of neat. I did a gaming club the second half of the year, which was a lot of fun. We just played games all day long. Or at least for that period. It was only, like, for, like, one class period, which sucked. Let's see, what else? That's about all the stuff that I remember doing, but I never joined any of those things. I was never in like any after school clubs, never done any sports teams. I did chorus for a few years, and I didn't do it my senior year because it didn't fit in my schedule anymore. So that's what I didn't do. If we want to go like least favorite activity that I had to do would be pep rallies. I hated them with a passion. My best friend from high school can officially back me up on this. I hated pep rallies. In fact, I think that was why, I honestly think that was why he joined the one sports team, was so that he'd be down on the floor with the rest of the people for the sports team and not up with me, hearing me complain in the stands. I hated pep rallies with a passion. I couldn't stand them. And they always had to be at the end of the day. So I'm always looking at the clock or at my watch at the time going, I hate this thing. Why are we celebrating this? For God's sake, I'd rather be in study hall right now. I take science class over this. I hated pep rally. So if we had to go beyond a doubt something that I hated doing in school, that would definitely qualify as one. If we want to go like class-wise, I was never a fan of reading, or I should say English class. I never liked English class. I wasn't that humongous of a fan of science class, except for 12th grade, my senior year, because I got to take a Principles of Design class, or Principles of Technology, which if I could have realized I could have taken that the year earlier, probably would have made a couple things happen in my life differently, which would have been cool. But I was never really a fan of science class. I was never really a super fan of English. Social studies was a meh kind of class. I'm trying to figure out what I had in school. Art class, no. I didn't like art class. I tried to like art class, but I got the teacher from hell the one year in elementary school. I do apologize, but it's been years. I have never forgotten that. I had the teacher from hell in like 6th grade, which was a nightmare. I had a really screwed up class in, I want to say 5th grade. Wasn't really too much fun either. There was God, what was it? I had to take art in high school too, but at least that art teacher was nice. Yeah, as long as I at least turned in something, I at least got a passing grade, so that was nice. But yeah, I was never really a humongous fan of art class, and God knows I tried, but it was first thing, the year I had it, the year I had to take art class, it was literally first thing in the morning. The year before, it was like the end of the day. The next year, it's first thing in the morning. And I'm like, I can't do this. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Hang on. When I was a sophomore, when I was a sophomore, it was first thing in the morning. When I was a freshman, it was like near the end of the damn day. That's what it was. Because in my junior year, did I take an art class in my junior year? See, computer class. Second computer class. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, I took that U in the law. Or was it senior year? I don't know, I forget. But I wasn't a fan of art class. I love gym class. I had a lot of fun in that. Social studies I didn't like. Chorus I did, and I started hating it. Literally as, like, I started getting a little older. I was like a sophomore / getting into my junior years when I started getting really annoyed by it. And then, because I wanted to take a different science class, and I had to because I did the 3 that were mandatory the 3 years prior, which I found out I could have skipped the 3rd one, not taken that one, and I could have just taken this other class for the first part, and then took the second part my senior year, which really pissed me off. I basically got, I had to take a different class, and the only time that class was open was during the period where there would be chorus, so I couldn't take chorus, so I was fine with that, which works out well. I can't really sing that well. I can't really sing that well anyway, so there was that. But, yeah, so my least favorite activities, besides waking the hell up 6 in the morning, which I do now anyway. That's hardwired into my brain now. I think the only time a year where I don't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning is when I have to go to work. I get up at like 1:45 in the morning. And New Year's, unless I have to work, which hasn't happened yet. I don't have any wood to knock on. No, because that's fake wood. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to reach for it, though. Oh, wait, no, here we go. Okay, knock on wood. Hasn't had to happen yet. I sleep into like 10 in the morning. So that's the only time I don't get up at 6 is when I have to work, if I'm doing night shift, and if I don't have to work on New Year's Day. That's it. Otherwise, I am up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Or I'm getting up at 1:45 in the morning. And that is how my life goes. So I wasn't a fan of getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning going to school. I wasn't a fan of... I always thought school was like a prison. And I will stand by that to my dying day. Because they told you what time to get there. They told you what time you had to be in this room, in this room, in this room. They told you what time you had to eat lunch. You had to get permission to go to the bathroom. You had to get permission to leave the room for a few moments to get a drink of water, so on and so forth. But the only difference between school and a prison is prison, you're stuck there for X amount of years or months. In school, you get to go home at the end of the day. But then you have to report back there the next day unless it's Saturday, Sunday, or a holiday or summer vacation. At which point, hey, you basically got furloughed or you've basically been pardoned by the governor and you're free, and then you're immediately brought back into the dungeon in like a few months. So there is that. I was never a fan of that. I didn't like school in general. I never did, basically. So I never liked school in general. But that's basically the whole gist of it. My least favorite activity in school was going to school. I mean, I like gym class. I could tolerate math. That's honestly about it. And activity-wise, there was not much that I did in my high school. I stayed under the radar in school for a reason. I have my reason. I will take that reason to my grave. I flew under the radar for a reason in school. I did not want to be super intelligent, even though, according to some of my friends, if I would have tried a little harder, I could have probably given the valedictorian of my class, my best friend, a run for his money. I was intelligent but lazy. Yeah, you guys can study with your books. I'll watch a television show. Or you guys can study. I'm going to go home and watch some anime. Have fun. I never liked school. I'm just going to flat out say it. I never liked school. So, there is that. All right. That was the final question that I had. So, next we have to figure out when the next one's going to be here. Let's see. This was March. So, once I get this calendar of mine to come up. And I get to go to April. Okay. So, April ends on a Tuesday this year, which sucks. Badly. So, let's shoot, then, the next Q&A video. Let's try to have the questions all in, nice and rolled up. Nice rolled up on a nice platter by the 20th. That sounds fair. April 20th, midnight. Sound good for everybody? Thumbs up if it's good. Thumbs down if it's not. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much everybody for tuning in to the Q&A video for March. From all of us here at the Web Designer 18 YouTube channel, which is basically me. Thank you everybody. I'm sorry, I'm a horrible person sometimes. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been the You Ask 'Em, I Answer 'Em, and I am so changing the name of that playlist to this. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you later.